What we're going to do is we're going to upload the mission that we just set up from Mission Planner to the drone, and we're going to simulate it. So basically, we're going to see on the screen exactly what you would see if you ran this mission. So, in fact, so we have our mission loaded, and we'll write it to the drone, and we will then read that back. And what we're looking at is exactly what we would see with any autopilot copter. And basically, we have an area of interest, which we outline the top of the dam. We use the facade tool to generate the offset. So the offset will be half of a 45, so like a 22.5 degree angle off of the top of the dam at the height needed for a 45-degree oblique. So I had previous ran this, and now what we did is we updated the parameters, and you can see the footprints, but the footprints along the flight lines don't take into account the oblique angle, so the footprints will be kind of directly under the drone, as though it were a nadir mission. But what we want to pay attention to is the heading, so you can see the heading, the red and orange lines and black lines for the GPS tracking, and that's pointing to the northeast currently. That's the way the drone is facing, and so the red and orange line indicate which way the drone faces. So with Mission Planner, we can basically resume our mission and just pick a waypoint. We usually start with number 1, so be launch, then waypoint 1. And this will give us a guided flight. Yeah. So once we climb to altitude, you can see we're 11, 14, 16, 18 meters, and it should go up somewhere. Forget the height that I have programmed in, but essentially this will be the oblique height, so on a 45-degree angle. So our gimbal will be set to a 45-degree angle, and once we get to altitude, I just click on auto, and I can begin. Now if I were actually flying it, I would simply launch the drone, make sure everything looks okay with the drone in the air, and then hit auto. So here you can see we're only at 55 meters approximately, and now the drone turns and does what we call a conditional yaw, and you can see how it's at a 45-degree angle to the face of the dam, the front face of the dam. And so the drone would fly along, and this is the actual speed. Currently we have the drone speed set to 5 knots, so we can actually see in Mission Planner before we load the mission how long the mission will take. But if we run the simulator, we should see identical. And the mission length duration will also include the distance from the home location. So it's important that you have the home location set up right. So we tried to make this a little easier in that we set the home location just about in line, just slightly below the top of the dam face. So that made programming in the height relatively easy. Um, and then, of course, once we get to the end of the dam, you're always going to want to verify the height off of the grade. So where those 2 waypoints are out on the end, you obviously don't want your drone hitting the top of a tree or running into the side of a hill because the grade abruptly changes. Now we're at 55 meters here, so we're a good distance up. And you can see even on the heads-up display the orientation of the drone and so forth as it moves. Now coming down the back of the dam, or the downstream side of the dam, I don't believe I changed the yaw around. So actually, I guess I did. So when you program this mission in Mission Planner, it always sets the conditional yaw perpendicular or at a 90-degree angle from the flight line. So what I did was I simply went into the beginning conditional yaws and the second waypoint there that we just hit, and I added 45 degrees to the conditional yaw. And again, ignore the footprints, but keep in mind the heading. So we have our gimbal pitched at a 45, which basically runs right along the top. So you basically have that nice big image and giving you a 1 centimeter resolution. And so as you come down to the end, the only thing left is for the drone to land. Now, of note, waypoint number 5, because of the direction that the drone was facing, we could have pulled back away so that when the drone turned on that angle, the image was hitting the beginning half circle or semicircle on the dam. So that's one little mistake. Now, once the drone lands, we would go in and we would alter this mission, and we would add 90 degrees, or rather subtract 90 degrees on these two conditional yaws, and then that would give us a 45-degree angle the opposite way, or an opposing 45-degree angle along the front face and back face of the dam. And you can so then this would give us, in essence, it would give us 4 oblique angles. So in the front that oppose one another, and if we reverse these, you would have 2 opposing. So 4 oblique angles you would get, and they would be all along the same flight lines, and we'd have a nice flight pattern. So I hope this helps explain how to do 4 oblique angles across a dam.